Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with Jaime Breeze. Excited to have our animal communicator here, our psychic, our friend, and Deer Mountain medium. Welcome back today. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Jill. How are you doing? How was your trip to Chicago?
Oh, it was great. I had a fun time. I was working and busy, but everything was great. Thank you. And you and your family, Breeze, everyone's good?
Yeah, we just got back from Cabo, actually.
Oh my gosh, how was it?
It was good. I've never been down there, and I really wanted to go and feel the desert energy and, the ocean energy combined with that and stuff. So yeah, it was a dream of mine to go there. So yeah, we just popped down for a week and it was nice.
Fantastic. Well, it's exciting to have you here for our new listeners today. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I'm a spiritual medium, as Jill mentioned, a psychic and animal communicator. And for those of you who don't understand what those are, a spiritual medium connects with loved ones on the other side, whether people or pets. A psychic, we can tap into your auric energetic field around you and talk about your past, present, and future, even past lives. And an animal communicator works with telepathy and can speak with your animals, wild animals, animals in captivity, all of them.
Wow, this is fantastic.
And there's proof.
There is proof.
Wait. She wants to be part of the show.
Always. Well, that's you, and that's your connection to your animals. And amazing. What do we have in store for today, Miss Jaime?
Well, I want to talk about how, and Breeze is coming to say hi again. I want to talk about how spirit and energy on the other side can find their way to us, whether we are looking for them or not. So if you have a loved one on the other side, they know how to get their message across to you. Whether you believe in this work or you don't, that's okay, because spirit has their own agenda. And I wanted to talk about this really cool story I have that actually really inspired me to get doing this work on a professional level. So sorry, I'm having
that's okay. Fix it.
Some technical difficulties this morning as well.
Well, so did we. So we're live here on Zoom. And also, obviously, if you're just on the podcast wondering what we're talking about, we are live together face to face as well. And technical communication. It's funny because quite a few times there's things that happen during the show electronically, something goes wrong. I think sometimes it's our energy.
Yeah, it totally is.
It's spirit coming on to bring everything, it's amazing. Computers started up fine, it was there. And then all of a sudden, Zoom doesn't want to respond and things get weird. And now your side of things.
Yeah, okay, I think I have it under control here.
Perfect.
Okay, so as I was saying, our loved ones on the other side have a way of connecting with us, whether we're looking for it or not. They sometimes travel through like a puzzle of different obstacles to get their messages across to us. And I always knew I was able to tap into spirit on the other side and communicate with animals, but I never did this on a professional level until about 4 years ago. The year prior to launching my business, really, as you know, Jill, I live in a resort community and I do a waitress part-time as well. Mm-hmm. And we had this new staff member come on and she had just moved from across the country and everything. And I was sitting at home one night and I was like, you know what, I'm going to reach out to her because, maybe she needs some company or a friend.
And so I messaged her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I messaged her. I was like, hey, it's Jaime from work. Do you want to come over for a glass of wine and get to know one another? And she was like, and I told her where I lived. She's like, actually, I'm like almost right outside your house walking. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. So pop on in. So she comes in and we're chit-chatting, getting to know one another. And all of a sudden, I just felt this energy shift in the room completely change. And I felt through my mind's eye that there was a man or like a younger man standing in front of me. And he showed me like the shape of his like shoulders, like broad shoulders. He was wearing a blue baseball cap, like brown hair, really tanned. And I knew his name was Luke somehow. And I asked her, I said, well, do you know anyone by the name of Luke who is on the other side? And she didn't know I was into this type of thing. And she had to think about it for a minute. And she's like, well, actually, yeah, one of my good friends back home on the other side of the country, her brother Luke passed away last year. And so all of a sudden the energy increases, and this gentleman starts telling me different things. He showed me driving and this bright beam of light in his eyes, which I felt obviously was the sun, and him going off the road. And, I said to her, was he in a car accident? And she said, yeah, he was on his way home to have family dinner. He lived out of town and was on his way to have home dinner with his family. And he was killed in a car crash. But the interesting thing was they assumed that the sun was in his eyes, but they didn't know for sure. So it was such an interesting feeling, Jill, because he allowed me to see the last moments of his life. And, in a way wanted to share, yeah, that's what happened. The sun was in my eyes. And he gave me all these other details as well. He gave me the number 28. And, I said to this girl, I said, did he play hockey or something? Was his jersey number 28? Was the highway number 28? And she's like, I don't know. And then he also said, I want her to tell my sister that I was here. And he shared with me that, his parents and stuff are grieving, but it's his sister's having like a really, really, really hard time with this. And she's not able to move forward. She needs a lot of healing. She feels stuck, all these things. So I felt his presence for a while here and just kind of got to know him, and he was a great character and all these things. And then, so by the end of the night, this girl left and she said, okay, I'm going to contact my friend on the other side of the country in the morning and let her know what happened. And Jill, so I go to bed that night. And again, this doesn't happen often, but I woke up in the morning and he's standing over my bed and he's tapping his wrist like this. He's like, come on, we need to tell her these messages. Now. Get on it. Now. So
did you text your friend?
Yeah, I texted my friend. I'm like, did you contact the sister yet? And she's like, no, I haven't. I'm like, okay, because
he wants it now.
Yeah, this gentleman is still here and he's very persistent. So she's like, okay, I'll give her a call right now and then let you know. So, but before she hung up or before we stopped talking, he also showed me purple flowers everywhere. I was like, okay, but also let your friend know about the purple flowers. And she's like, okay. And I went to my garden and I even because he was like, go to the garden, you have the purple flowers in your garden. So I went to the garden and I snapped a picture of these purple flowers and sent it. It was so intense, Jill. And then I went to have a shower and he was, this sounds weird, but he was in the shower with me.
Got it.
His energy was there. Mm-hmm. He needed this message to get across.
Yeah.
So my friend finally calls me back and she's like, okay, I talked to the sister. It was obviously very emotional for her to hear these messages, but she needed to understand that he was still with her. They were best friends. They were siblings, they were best friends. They grew up together. They did everything together. And it was true. Her parents, were coping and trying to move forward as best they can, but she was just stuck. And so after delivering these messages, she was able to understand that her brother was still with her. And she confirmed the number 28. The car crash was on July 28th of the previous year. And she sent a photo back of her backyard and it was full of these purple flowers.
The same ones you have.
Yeah. And the significance was that her and her brother, they would always plant purple flowers growing up, and her brother would roll in them and smell them and stuff. So the purple flowers were very... very, you crying, right? Yeah, it was very significant for her. So yeah, it was just such a deep, energetic feeling. And so I
Wow.
looked him up. I looked up his obituary online after, and the photo they had on it in it is the one where he's wearing the blue baseball hat that he came in and shared with me. So, and he was known with that hat, that's why they picked that picture. But the other cool thing was like, yeah, he was able to confirm, yeah, it was sun,
That got in
like
his
it was
eye.
sun that
Yeah.
that created the car accident and everything like that. So, and it's interesting. So that was like in June, I believe. And so when July 28th came, I really wanted to honor him for his 1 year anniversary of his transition. And, so I had a small ceremony for him at my house and whatnot by myself. And, he was one of those people and spirits that really propelled me forward. So I always have to like thank him for that. And I still feel his presence around me sometimes. And I, talk to him if I feel I need and stuff. And it's just a really cool experience that this boy on the other side of the country like really changed my life without even physically knowing him. But the cool thing was that he and what our loved ones on the other side do, they find a way to get the messages to him. Like I was tired that night. I didn't really feel like hanging out with anyone,
Yeah, but
but
something
something,
drove you and said, call
mhm,
this new girl from work. And it was just,
yeah. And, and she's already on my street walking towards my house kind of thing. So spirit knows how to like find put the puzzle pieces together,
no.
and it was interesting. So right before he came in as well, so profound, I should have mentioned this. This woman popped in prior to him, and I said to this girl in front of me, I said, "Is your grandmother's name Mary?" Because this elderly woman just came in the room. She's like, "Yeah, my grandma's name is Mary," and she's like, "Oh my god!" So we talked to Mary for a second. Then all of a sudden, Mary stepped back, and it was like, oh, this other boy came in. So spirit can work that way too. Someone, an older person, more wise and stuff, can kind of pave the path
Yeah.
to bring a new spirit on the other side forward, kind of like we do on earth.
Yeah.
An older person, an elder, can lead the way and guide you and teach you and stuff. So once Mary kind of opened the portal kind of for Luke to come forward in a way. And then once he was there and the energy was thriving, she stepped her way back. So it was a really beautiful, beautiful experience.
And that helped not only her, but the whole family and all his friends. Because now your story of connecting with him gets passed on. And that just brings joy to so many people to know, to believe, and even to non-believers like, okay, this is real. This is true. It's just the affirmation and that feeling that there is more out there and they are around us. And wow, because you affect so many people so positively. And at times it's sad because you're thinking of a lost one, but no, it's just what an amazing talent that you were gifted with from above. And you choose to help people and not push it to the side. And you make those calls. Times maybe you don't want to, you're not feeling well, but you're such a kind spirit and soul, Jaime. And
Well, thank you.
I know that obviously, but I just think it's amazing what you do and how such an impact you have on so many people. It's beautiful. And you've chosen to make it your life's work. And,
Yeah. Yeah. And, I love giving the evidence. Like evidential mediumship is giving concrete evidence, something that a medium cannot Google search or find out about you before. It's something that we should not know.
Mm-hmm.
It's something not obvious, and that you'll prove to someone like, yes, my loved one is still with me and on the other side. So again, like we've talked about before, Jill, it's like building the energy, to allow spirit in. The more you're open to this type of work, the easier it is for them to make an appearance, let themselves know, and that's so important. I was working with this client yesterday. She's in Ireland, and her dad came through in our reading. He's been on the other side for a while, but he wanted to share little bits of information with her to let her know that he's around her and supporting her. She's going through a difficult time right now, and he was like, I'm here. You have to call on me though, to allow me to help you, because we do have free will as human beings.
Yeah.
So we have to allow our loved ones in spirit on the other side to come forward. So this gentleman on the other side, he really wanted to mention, I couldn't tell if it was a silver bracelet or a watch. And she's like, oh no, he gave me this silver watch for my 16th birthday. And then he brought what he wanted to show me in my third eye again. And for those of you who don't understand when I say third eye, it's like a flash of an image or a color or something in your mind, and that you're able to try and or hopefully interpret. Or sometimes we need our clients to help us, because it can be like a game of charades. But he showed me this giant white birthday cake, and he wanted me to understand it's big.
Yeah.
And she kind of laughed. She's like, yep, he always got me massive birthday cakes. Like, and I kind of felt him chuckling on the other side, saying, yeah, I loved sweet things. And she's like, yeah, he loved his sweets. So, and he's been passed over for a while, and he showed me he had something in his lungs, and she said, yeah, he had really severe pneumonia and everything like that. So that's what triggered his transition and whatnot. But like, it just shows that our loved ones are around us, and they're there to support us.
Comfort in knowing that, and just changing someone's life to know that. Because similar experience, I was told by a medium one day at work that I need to contact someone, this gentleman who I went to high school with, who passed away. You need to call his family. They're not well. And I haven't talked to him since high school. So I left work that day a few years ago, and I went on Facebook and I found the sister, and she was hysterical, saying my mom killed herself after Michael died. And now my sister's destroying herself with drugs. They could never handle the fact. We did a 3-way call. I said, your brother came to someone this morning, and through me, I'm supposed to tell you he's okay. And Michael Manzione's his name. And it was like, and they were like, oh my God, he loved you in high school. And like, they knew who I was from high school. And I said, this woman just told me, and I'm hoping that helped them. It was too late for their mom, who took her own life, but now the sister was going through a drug problem, and he came to me to tell them. And
right. Yeah. So you see how it works, right?
Yes, I believe. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. And still, like, the synchronicities, like, always connect, right? Yep. Like, I've heard of other people, they go on an airplane and they sit down by a medium, like, the spirit has made the seating selection. They sit down by a medium, and it changes their lives, because they're now sitting with a medium for a 4-hour flight, and their loved ones on the other side are coming forward.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Jaime, I know you have obligations at 10:45. Are you available to talk again at 11 or 12 today, or are you busy?
I actually have back-to-back clients today.
No problem.
Do we have to stop?
Yes, we do, unfortunately. Okay. So let's try to connect. I'm going to shoot you a text message, and we could speak another time this week, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Let's try and touch base and see what we can organize.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love you. Okay. If someone wants to reach out to obviously have this life-changing, amazing experience, I mean, let alone the other work you do from teaching people how to connect with the other side, how do we reach out to you?
It's Jaime Breeze, JaimeBreeze.com, and on Instagram at The Mountain Medium.
Yes, she is. She's amazing. Thank you so much. Good luck with your clients today. Pleasure getting to talk to you. Unfortunately, not long enough, but we'll hook up again and have another show this week. Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you.
Bye,
have a great day.
Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online radio box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.